Okay, I'm gonna do the gutless method on this buck. I'm gonna skin him right in half, fold the hide over, take his hind quarter, front shoulder, loin, neck meat. Then I will roll him over, do the same thing, loin, neck meat, shoulder, hind quarter. Then I will go for tenderloins, then I'll go for heart. I follow his backbone all the way down to his tail. I make sure I don't cut into the meat here because both sides of the spine are his loins. Excellent, excellent meat. So I'm really careful in here. Yeah, I'm just gonna skin him all the way down to that spine. Hopefully you can see good. I know this camera job probably sucks right now, but I'm standing up and I'm looking around. I'm in grizzly country. Grizzly, mountain lions, wolves. I mean, wolves and mountain lions usually don't bug you, but bears, especially the grizzlies. Just looking around, make sure I'm safe. Also, I use these, this is an outdoor edge, I use these knives with interchangeable blades. I was anti them at first, but it is so handy. It's like using scalpels. Almost too sharp sometimes, you gotta be careful, but change the way I do things. And I like doing this anyways when the deer are fresh. You know, you always used to gut everything and drag it out whole. Why do that if you don't have to? You gotta get rid of the hide, the bone, the bloodshot, all that home anyways. Do it while it's fresh, put everything in game bags. Makes life easier, just leave proof of sex. I mean, I got all this on video, it's pretty obvious, but still. See, if you do this when the deer's fresh, the hide comes off so much easier. Okay, now we're gonna get close to some bloodshot here. So as you can see, I'm just zipping this hide off half at a time, you know, maybe a little more. Here's both loins here. You know, you can start skinning that a little bit too, but I just like to keep this side clean while I do this side, because I'll pull the hind quarter, front shoulder, loin before I turn this buck over. But yeah, we're about to see where I hit, and it was good. I know it's good. I blood trailed him. Looks like lung and heart. 2 shots. Here's around this tail. I'm being careful here too, because these hind quarters is where a lot of that really good meat is. The bottom rounds, the topper rounds, there's where your good steaks are, so I'm being careful here. See right there, I got a little bit into that muscle, and that little part of meat is going to dry out and have to be cut out. So I try to be really careful there, but that's just, hey, that's a bite of meat. It all adds up. Okay, quick look for bears. Quick look for bears. I also have 10 mm on my side, 15 with one in the chamber. So my rifle's leaned up over there. So I got my pistol on me, but looking around, don't see any bears. You know, I don't like to make a bunch of noise and everything while I'm doing this. Call spook other animals out, but I just shot a deer. But I like to make noise to keep predators away, because it won't be long. They'll be on this tonight or tomorrow morning. Okay, we're about to find some bloodshot here. Let's see how I did. Wow. He was facing to the left, both of my shots. So this is entry. Going around his neck and his esophagus right now. Wow, look at that damage. 1898 3040 Craig. Does what it's supposed to do. I'm going to flatten him out a little bit. Get that other leg out. Because eventually you got to cut through the hide and go down the leg. I usually go back here like I'd be caping the buck out. Go back here and I follow from his armpit down that, where that hair changes. So it's time. See, now I'm to his elbow, and I'll follow that other hide down where it changes from white to brown. I'm probably breathing heavy on the camera, sorry. Going around the armpit right now, bottom side of the shoulder. Doing the gutless method. Wouldn't have to today, but why not do it? You got to get this hide off. You got to get rid of the bloodshot and everything when you get home. Why not do it out in the woods? Just keep your eyes open for grizzlies and predators. The 30-40 Craig destroyed this deer. Destroyed. Looking around for bears. Looking around for predators. Okay, take a small break. Here's my backpack, everything laid out. Got game bags, everything ready to go. Looking around for bears real quick. So I just went around his tail here, kind of around by the anus. As long as there ain't like poop coming out, I'll cut through it. I just don't cut in. But yeah, I'm going around the back side of this leg. So I'm just gonna follow the back leg here where the hair changes. And on the other side, scent glands right here. They are stinky. They are gross. I don't touch them with the same knife I'm deboning with or skinning. I use a different knife because those are nasty, and I'll get rid of them because I don't want them touching the hide or anything. So I'll show you here in just a sec. Cut down the back of his leg. Go around this tendon. I'll show you here in a sec. You want to still be careful around here. Don't cut this tendon. This is what's going to help you hold up that animal hanging or grabbing a quarter. So don't cut this back tendon. So I'm going to be careful right in here because, like I said, that scent gland's on the other side. And I don't want this knife touching the outside of that scent gland. Nasty. I don't want that anywhere near the meat I'm going to eat. Okay, so now putting this knife here. I have a different knife, kind of a skinner knife. Okay, I'll just show you on this leg because it's a little more easy to see. But there's that scent gland, gross. Insides of their back legs. Big glands, they rub it on brush, rub their legs together. It's kind of how they mark things. Stinky, nasty, gross. A lot of glands inside of the meat too that some people don't know about. That they just ingest, or they have bad meat and they wonder why. Well, apparently I need to sharpen this knife. It is not very sharp. I'm a little disappointed in myself right there, but okay, same thing. Sorry, it's kind of hard to see here. I'm on the inside leg. I'm gonna go around that tendon, but I'm not gonna cut that tendon. I do not want that to get cut. Right there's that tendon. I'm getting a little wild here. My knife's kind of dull. Okay, there's a scent gland off the back of his leg. Gross. Stinks. My dad used to rub himself all over with this so he'd smell better in the woods. Put it in our shoelaces. Yeah, that's nasty. I can smell it. And with this nasty hand, I'm going to switch gloves so I don't touch areas like this where I accidentally nick the meat a little. I don't want that on my meat. So I'm gonna cut a little excess. I'm kind of holding this leg here with my leg. You know, I should take time, get some rope out, but I'm not on a steep hill. I'm feeling pretty good. There's that tendon that I do not want to cut. Struggling here, folks. Sorry about this. Okay, gross, nasty scent glands. So now, like I said, taking this glove off, and I'm gonna get a new one. Start fresh. Kind of wipe that knife off. Put it back so I don't lose it. Okay. I am just about done skinning this side. There's that tendon. Now I'm going down to where I cut around that anus. You want to be really careful in here. It's guts, so don't go too deep. Slow down a little bit, and I've got to leave proof of sex here too, because I'm not necessarily deboning, I'm dequartering it, so I got to leave proof of sex. So I got to be careful around here because I can feel his penis right there, testes. Don't cut into the guts here. Not fun. And then you just got to deal with that. You got to smell it if you poke the guts, and then I don't want that on my good meat. Taking this much time to do a good thorough job. You know, so here's another thing too, kind of going around the anus here of the deer. I don't want to cut too far because once I start cutting into here, I don't want to expose that meat on the other leg yet, in case I do get gut or something. So I kind of leave this hide to help protect it. Going along the front of the guts and the brisket right here. Okay, we're about to pull a shoulder and a hindquarter. Big game bag for the hindquarters. I mean, they are deer quarters, but I'm going to put 2 in there. Otherwise, I save these for elk. So I'm going to make sure I'm ready. Kind of rolling it up. I want to make sure I can get that quarter down the bottom of that game bag. Set it right here. Okay, so right here is the tri-tip on the animal, and there's a huge gland right here. I can feel it in there. Why bring that home? So I'm going to cut around that. I don't want that nasty thing around my meat. Just remember, where the thigh comes up is the tri-tip muscle right here, and there's a big gland. So right here, I'm going to be careful. I don't want to cut into these loins or anything. So you got to be careful in here, but it'll just start separating. There's a joint right here we'll cut through. Right there. And I'm going to be careful here though. I don't want to poke gut. So this can get a little tricky by yourself. So here's the Peter line right here. I'm going to cut down kind of into the butthole along that Peter line. And you get in here, and here's another joint. You have to cut through there eventually. Just don't hit gut. You're gonna expose a little meat here. There's nothing you can do about that. See, now his leg's starting to separate till I get to this ball socket. Being careful here. Don't cut into the guts. See, I'm getting close to that socket. I'll show you here in a sec. So I gotta get around here. Don't hit guts. I'm gonna cut along that loin kinda. There's the femoral. You got to cut through it. So you're going to get blood all over it there, but that's the main artery in their leg. Nothing you can do. Thought I heard something. Here's that ball joint. You gotta cut through it and get through that tendon. That's the main ball joint there. Cut around that pelvic bone. Hopefully this video's all right. I'm not losing much meat at all. I'm following that pelvic bone along the hips. Now this leg's getting loose here. I gotta be careful. I don't want to lay it in the brush and in the dirt. Okay. Following along here, don't want to lose meat. Getting back towards these loins. Barely losing any meat. You're gonna lose some, nothing you can do about that. Okay, it's gonna get heavy. On an elk, this is not easy by yourself. Okay, one hind quarter. Put it in this game bag. Keep it clean. And I'll kind of lay it up on the brush here so it starts getting air to it and it's not laying in the dirty ground. Like I said, you lose a little bit of meat. I'll throw some chunks in the bags here before I go, but being careful here. Here's the other hind quarter. Here's guts. Like I said, we'll get tenderloins through here soon. Here's loin. We're going to take a front shoulder off soon. Okay, got the hind quarter off. Do the front shoulder now. So I got kind of some medium-sized game bags here. I traded to save the big ones for the hind quarters, smaller ones for the front quarters. And then I'll do loin and heart in one. I'm gonna roll it up a little. The more you do now, it makes it easier when you got that quarter hanging in your hand, you know, holding that weight. Not bad on a deer, but you do an elk, they get heavy quick. So I'll kind of lay that right here. Okay, so I cut around the shoulder. I don't cut very deep. I don't want to cut into the front of the loins here. So you just go through here. Normally I go like back into here, but why take this home? Gross, I don't want to eat that, do you? So I'm gonna try to leave as much as that here as I can. So kind of go around his spine, down the spine a little. Now, like I said, don't cut too deep. I don't want to be cutting in to the loin and other meat. So I kind of get feel for where I'm at here. I'm gonna get rid of this bloodshot. So here's the back of the shoulder blade right here. You got to get under that. Get under the back of that shoulder blade. Don't cut the loins right here. There's the loins. Don't cut those. Right now I'm just cutting neck meat, which is usually hamburger, breakfast sausage, whatever you like. Ooh, that's nasty. That deer was not gonna go far. Didn't go far. Okay, like I said, looks like I'm wasting meat here, but why bring this bloodshot home? I do not want to eat that. So man, I hit that shoulder too because I heart shot him. So I'm not going to get a lot of meat off of that. You get those, there's a bone right here. You get two main roasts off a front shoulder and they're usually pretty chewy. So I either make them into roasts or once again, burger, breakfast sausage, jerky. Okay, so now I'm gonna start getting in here, take a little of this neck meat, getting rid of the bloodshot. Don't bring it home. Okay, then the neck gets so layered with this fat and everything. So just like that, I got that front shoulder off. I lost some meat, but that's okay. Deadly shot. I got the hindquarters, all the loins. Struggle bus. I just try to lay it down so I don't get it dirty or full of blood. I am in grizzly country. I've had black bears on my camera, but no grizzlies, so I'm okay with that. Okay, front shoulder in the game bag. Same thing. Don't lay it on the ground. Lay it up on some brush. Let air get to it. Let the meat start cooling. There's scent glands they don't touch. Okay, smaller game bag for loins and stuff. Here we go. Got this one rolled up, ready to go. Set that right here. Okay, so we got the front shoulder. Lost a lot of meat there, but I'm not taking that home. Gross. Hindquarters off. I'll get a few of these burger scraps. Okay, so here's the loins. So I'm gonna cut along the spine. Once again, be careful here. Don't cut into the loin, because it doesn't take much. So I'm skinning this back. It kind of needs to be anyways. It's just the rib meat and everything. On a deer, you're not getting much. It's about a 1/2 inch thick, if that, in areas. And I got a lot of bloodshot there, so I don't want it anyways. Hope I'm not breathing too hard on the camera. I'm still excited. It's been 28 years since I shot a deer with this rifle. 30-40 Craig right there. 1898. Okay, so here's the loin. It goes up into the neck. Kind of separates in a muscle, but I'll take both of them at once. It goes all the way back here to that hip socket right here, right in the hip. This was the main joint here by the femur bone here. Here's the main socket for his leg. This is kind of the hip socket, but yeah, right in here, the main ball joint. That's what held that back leg on. So you can cut all these extremities off without cutting through bone. Okay, thin slices right here. I got to get under that loin. Come back in here. So here's where you want to be careful. So right in here, once again, don't cut too deep. You'll get into those guts. But those tenderloins are right in here, and that's where we're going to get them later without getting into the guts and getting nasty till the very end. Also, getting into the guts right away exposes a lot of scent, and I'm in bear country. I want to keep that scent hidden as long as I can. I mean, those bears heard my shot, there's no doubt about that, but still, keep scent down as long as you can. Love the gutless method. Okay, I'm following along the backbone there. Careful right in here. It's easy to get into that gut where those tenderloins are. And I'm wearing gloves. Some people give me a hard time about it, but once again, if I don't have to get my hands all bloody and nasty and stinky and try to eat lunch later and all that, keep the scent off my hands from grizzlies and predators, I try to keep scent as low as possible out here. Why not keep my hands clean with gloves? See, I'm following the spine right now, so I'm not wasting any meat. I mean, that's all bone right there. What the old saying, coyotes gotta eat, birds gotta eat. It's a circle of life. You gotta give them something to chew on too. All right. You know, fillet blades actually work really good for deboning an animal. And when I do debone it at home in my shop, I use like a fillet blade. It's easier to get around than these more stubbier knives, but these outdoor edge knives, Havilons, they're all just amazing. Change the way I do this. Okay, and like I said, that loin goes up into the neck into here. Okay. Looking around, thought I heard something. Make sure no bear's gonna get me. Nice size loin here. I'm gonna kind of grab it with the game bag and make sure I don't get it dirty. Favorite part of the animal right here. I mean, loin, well, tenderloin. Heart's my favorite treat. Okay, there's a loin. Once again, hang it up, air to it, let it start cooling. Okay, a little bit of meat here. I'll clean up here once I'm all done, but there's the loin, front shoulder, hind quarter. I guess, you know, I could get the tenderloin now, but then like I said, you kind of expose gut and scent. Let's see if I can do it cleanly here. So here's that hip socket. Tenderloins are right in here above the guts, along the backbone, right in here, and it goes under the rib cage. So I'm being really careful here. Like I said, once you start cutting here, you're going to kind of expose gut. Oh yeah, I can see the cavity is full of blood. That deer was not doing good. Got to be careful right in here. So here's the tenderloin. Here's the back of gut. See, and it's already trying to leak through. So I don't like soaking meat in water because it makes it turn green and gross. Some people do to cool it out. But I will soak tenderloins if they get a bunch of blood on them or gut at all. And the heart, I'll soak in a bowl of cold salt water, like two nights in the fridge, and change the water out. It just kind of that gamey taste or that gut if it gets on there at all. Otherwise, I do not want the meat to get wet. Okay, I'm cutting above the tenderloin right now. And sorry, I contradict myself here and there now and again, but I am on a little bit of a time crunch here because I am in grizzly country, and that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just looking around. So you don't want to take forever, especially by yourself, because I got nobody watching for me. I guess if I get eaten by a grizzly bear, somebody's gonna have a good video. Okay, see, I'm going under that. I'm not cutting into those guts. The tenderloin, when you do this when the deer are fresh, I mean, it almost pulls out. Okay, look at that. I slid that tenderloin right out. I mean, I lost a little bit on the end, a little bit of that end, but I got to cut it. So tenderloin right there. Didn't have to get into the guts. Let's see, both the loins. Sometimes I put the heart with the tenderloins, but that's okay. Tenderloins in there with the loin. Cooling out. Good to go. Okay, we're ready to turn this deer over. Set my knife down. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do before I do that? Fold this hide back over. Okay, fold the hide back over. Let me show you here. I didn't do this side of the leg because I didn't want to get blood and dirt and stuff on the good meat here. So I already went around the anus. Here's the tail. So I'm going to cut skin around here. So this hide's still connected, so it's kind of a pain until I roll it over. But I'm going to go down right here, down where that white hair turns kind of brown. Okay, I'm going around this leg right now. This is the back right leg. Looking around for bears. You know, you never expect to see one. It would suck to, but I'm prepared. Okay, so here's testicles, here's the penis. I've got to keep proof of sex on this buck because I'm taking the quarters off out here. So there's this Peter line. Now, I might have cut damn near too far through. I got to leave some of that attached. There's a testicle. So I cut a little too far past, and I got to leave proof of sex, which is kind of silly. I got video and everything. So there's a little hide here. I know it's going to be a lot. It's going to look dumb, but better than getting in trouble. So testicles, everything I'm going to leave attached. That means I just can't skin anymore here. Okay, so I'll have to do that from the backside. I just got to remember. We're going to turn them over now and do this side. And I'm going to start looking around for bears. Start right here so I don't lose the testicles and stuff. I am on public land, and there is other guys in here. You know, I don't want anybody turning me in thinking I'm illegal. Like I said, I got video. I watched this buck go down. Pretty obvious. So now, there's that tendon. Here's where it's going to make a little bit of a mess with hair. But I'm going to go around this testicles and penis, and I'm leaving that attached. Proof of sex. Hopefully you guys everybody can see good, or y'all. November 16th right now. Rut's just getting going. This buck was grunting. But this is awesome. I got this buck now. I can focus on getting my daughter her second deer. My son's already shot a 5x4 and a doe, so the only tag he has left is an elk. Really proud of him. He's 16 and doing it on his own. Okay, I'm going around the hind quarter here. I got a little bit fast there and cut into that top around is what that's called. That's really good steak, good meat. So I need to slow down a little bit. Like I said, I'm in grizzly country, so I don't want to take forever, but I also don't want to get hurt. And I want to enjoy this. Okay, so now I'm gonna start folding it back this way. And where I cut from that side, now I'm just gonna bring it around. Okay, starting back up here behind his ear. And go around, get down to his neck. Knife almost feels like it's getting a little dull. You know, this ain't a huge buck, but it means a lot to me. It's my biggest buck with the 30-40 Craig. No, it's not. Sorry, it is not. I shot a 4-point about 135 inch, so I've shot a bigger buck, but it's one of my better ones. I'm really proud right now. Okay, I'm gonna step over him. I'm gonna start pulling this hide down from his neck. Another thing, doing this fresh, it's so much easier. You get less hair on the hide or on the meat. Just much prefer it. Like I said, in grizzly country, it's a little intimidating. Just don't want to take too dang long, but Hopefully I'm not too funky of an angle here for the camera. That's neck meat there. A lot of that neck meat is super chewy. Glands, tendons. I mean, I still don't want to waste meat, but it is not good meat. Not good steak meat. Good for burger and stuff, jerky, breakfast sausage, whatever you like to do. Okay, so right, looking around for bears again. Sorry, kind of makes for bad filming, but I'm gonna cut this hide like I'm gonna cape this buck out, like I was gonna shoulder mount it. So I'm gonna cut right through here. Extra hair on that knife there. Try to keep it away from the meat. And I'm gonna go right down. I'm getting dull here. Let's take. Okay, I'm switching blades out here at my outdoor edge. Push this little button. The blade comes right off. Separately packaged here. You get a new blade out. It's got a protective edge. And at the end here, I'll clean up all my garbage. I always do. That, you gotta be careful here. Like I said, these are like razor blades, like scalpels. Okay, make sure it's, oh, it wasn't locked in. That's why you check. Push that button. Push in on that tree a little bit. Now we're locked in. And I put the old used blade in this package. Like I said, I'll clean up trash. Everything. Okay, my knife was getting too dull. It gets dangerous. Let me look around for bears. Okay. I'm just about to start going down the shoulder of this buck with the hide. Get around his armpit. Just follow that leg up where that hide changes color. Oh yeah, that's much better. Oh yeah, I went through that. When you got a hole this low in the elbow, you went through the heart, which bums me out because I love eating the heart. Oh, there's a chunk of 30-40 Craig bullet right there. Couple chunks. That's cool. But it cleared, then went out, so probably all I'll find. Going around that elbow here. I always leave the legs attached for now, something to hold on to, something to tie bungee cords to, rope, whatever you got. Okay, I'm gonna lift that leg up. I'm gonna hold on to it kind of with my arm. Oh, thought I heard something. Coming up around that elbow. I'm being really careful here because I'm trying to hold this leg myself. Okay, I'm down in his armpit. Going around shoulder, getting towards the brisket here. Okay, now all that will come out from that side, around his neck. Dang, that's exit. That's heart, lung. This deer expired in 30 seconds. I mean, you'll see the video. This is such a good feeling. Get it done quick, no suffering. Okay, it's got some of the hide up here around the neck. I gotta get to. Around the brisket here. Okay, I'm at the tail here, and there's a joint in the tail. You just got to feel it because you don't want to dull your knife real bad. So what I'm going to do, I don't want to dull that brand new outdoor edge blade. Get the same knife out that I cut the scent glands off with. You got to find that joint, that knuckle. Thought I heard something. Man, sorry folks, I'm struggling here. Okay, tail's off, hide's almost off. Put this knife back. Look around. Okay, good knife back out. Careful here, going around the guts. Don't poke the guts. Okay. Get the hide kind of out of the way. Said I had to leave the testicles attached. I kind of cut a little too far there. I'll leave them out of the bag though, it'll be just fine. Okay, I got the hind quarter bag right here. Ready to go. Okay, so there's kind of the, like where the spine meets that hip, and then that big femur bone, that hip socket's down in here. So no reason to take all that. So I cut that Peter line away. Goes down into the butthole. Okay, now gonna hit that femoral artery right here every time. Oh, see, I got a little bit in there, little gut. That's what I want to stay away from. Okay, there's gut coming out. That's why you can't be careful enough. So I'm going around. Here's where the butthole is. That socket. Gotta be careful in here. I don't want that gut touching my meat. Okay, I can feel down in that socket right there. Boom, I just cut the tendon. There's that ball joint that goes into the hip socket. Once you get around that, you just keep following the bone so you don't waste meat. Okay, it's almost free. That's bone. So, I mean, you'll lose a bite or two here and there, but I'm pulling up the whole time. I don't want that in the dirt. Yeah, I did get a little bit in the dirt, dang it. Okay, clean it off a little. Hind quarter to hind quarter. Leaving the proof of sex out of the bag. I don't want that with the meat. Okay. I move these loins here. Don't want to lose tenderloins. Okay, up there, up in some brush. All right, let's get the front shoulder ready. Looking around for bears. Bullet hole here, bullet hole here. Yeah, I wrecked this buck. Okay, so lift that shoulder up and you kind of follow along the shoulder. I'm leaving bloodshot out here. I don't need to bring it. So same thing here, shoulder blade, main muscle structure here. You got like a roast or whatever on each side, the two main muscles in the front shoulder. So just don't cut through this loin. Just go, lightly cut, bam, there, you can see the loin. So careful, you want to get behind that shoulder blade, and I'm seeing a bunch of bloodshot. I'm going to leave it out here. I'm not bringing that home with me. Zero reason. So yeah, you can take all the main muscle components off a deer without going through bone. Okay, nice clean front shoulder. Going right in the bag. Okay, I'll tie all those up here soon. Back to the loin. Cut along that spine. Get this stuff out of your way. It's just flank meat and rib meat and mostly fat. Steve Ranella would eat it, but I won't. Elk or moose. Now you might get enough meat off this rib meat to keep, I think, but whitetail deer. Okay, so I'm following. You hear that along the spine here. Gonna get this loin out. It goes right back to that socket right there. And I did miss some meat here on this one, so I'm gonna pull that off here soon before I'm done. Careful in here. There's where that tenderloin is. I'm just on the opposite side now. I don't want to cut into that. Then I'm exposing gut, which this is why we do the gutless method. There's a fine line between hitting gut right here and missing some meat. It's easy when you follow the ribs, but where they end, where these tenderloins are, it's a little trickier. Going up into that neck, following the spine, up to where I've already cut. Meat is really warm, so it's so good to get it away from the bones right away too. It's probably only 35, 40 degrees right now, but still getting that meat away from the bones is critical. Start letting it cool out right away. A lot of people leave the hide and everything on because they don't know this method. If it's 50, 60 degrees, you can start getting bone sour in a few hours. See, I'm going around the loin here. That's all the back of ribs. Not wasting meat. Said when I debone an animal, I use a fillet blade. It works excellent. Okay, loins up into the neck there. Bam, another loin out. So I got the loins and tenderloin in the same bag. There. Up off the ground, getting air to it. Looking around for bears, predators. Okay, so here we are, just like the other side. Here's where the rib cage stops, spine goes back, and here's where the tenderloin is, right here. So I like to kind of cut right on the back side of the spine. Then you won't hit gut doing that. Kind of get the tenderloin loose, and I want to put my fingers in between the tenderloin and the guts. I don't want to expose guts. Okay. I can literally feel the tenderloin. Like I said, if they do get a little gut or blood on them, then I'll soak the tenderloins with the heart in salt water. Couple, 2-3 nights. Cleaning the water out, ice cold, lots of salt, iodized salt. Just gets rid of the gamey or gut taste at all. Something Dad showed me years ago. I really enjoyed it. Otherwise, I keep meat dry. Okay, tenderloin comes right out there. Didn't cut any gut. I got a mile and a half hike. I'd have to look at my phone, but pretty good hike out. Pretty excited about it though. Now is where the heart is. I don't think it's salvageable. I don't like to get crazy bloody here. But you know, you kind of expose the ribs, see what you got going on here. Yeah, there's a big hole right there. I'm thinking the heart is no good. Oh, yeah. Okay, big hole. I'm gonna cut between these ribs, and I'm gonna cut between this rib, right in here. Just if I can see the heart. Oh, there is long and hard. It ain't looking good. I can feel the heart right here. Well, hey, look at that. Rib's already broke for me. Careful here. You don't want to... That sprayed me with a little bit of blood. That sucks. Broken ribs. Super sharp. Careful there. Get rid of that rib. There's the heart. That's the top of the heart. That's long. Yeah, it ain't worth even trying to keep. Dang. I love eating the heart too. I blew that heart up. There's lung. Sweet. Now, look around, looking for bears. Now my hand's all bloody. I don't like to get too much blood on the antlers. It's hard to clean off later, plus it looks clean in pictures. I cut his head off. Cut through the esophagus. Right there's esophagus. Cut down to the spine. You can take the head off without getting out a saw too. If you go to that knuckle way back here, you know, just behind the skull. But sometimes I kind of like getting my saw out and using it. That's why I pack it, right? But if you don't have one, this is 100% doable. There. Twist hard enough, she'll come loose. A little morbid, I guess, but there. There's that knuckle right here. Holds the head on the spine. Okay, I'm clear. Time to start packing. All right, I'm gonna shut the camera off for a sec.